Are people really growing on Instagram? Who are these people and what are they doing? In this episode, I'm going to walk you through the people who are actually growing on Instagram, and we're going to break down their strategies and see how we can apply those to your business so that you can be using Instagram, not just to use Instagram, but to have it grow your business and make you more money. So let's get to it. Hey friend, my name is Michelle Gifford. I'm so glad that you're here at the Business Mom School. At Business Mom School, we help you grow a business online and we give you all the tools that you need. If you're an official member, it's free. All you have to do is sign up. For official members though, you get 2 emails every week, one with all of your training and your assignments and homework for the week. And then you get a second email with all of the social media and marketing updates and trends. This is completely free. So you just need to text BMS to 951-309-7885 or click the link below, because I really want you to be an official Business Mom School member and make sure that you're subscribed. I think we talk a lot about Instagram theory, right? We talk a lot about tips and tricks and strategies. But in this episode, I'm really excited about it because we are going to be showing you real life examples of people who are just killing it on Instagram, who are growing and that we can learn a lot from. So we're going to dive into it. Now, what I'm doing is I'm breaking it up into the 4 different categories of types of products that people can sell. So there's influencers, right? They sell their influence. There are product-based business. There's either physical products, there's digital products, and there are services. So let's start with influencers because I think this is an interesting one. And if you are an influencer, great job. You do a lot of work to grow your business. We're going to talk about 3 different influencers. 1 is Style Fit Fatty. 2 is Fulham House. 3 is Jenna Wood. These 3 are growing and they're growing quite quickly and they're each doing it in a different way. So let's break it down. So Style Fit Fatty, if you know her at all, she is quite famous for her stories, for Instagram stories, where she brings up all kinds of topics, very funny, super interesting, very intriguing. And people who are watching your stories have even labeled themselves like Fatty University because they learn things that they never would have learned anywhere else. If you know, you know. And so with Fatty, people will share her stories or go and watch her stories and then pass it on to a sister or a friend and say, you've got to go over to Fatty and watch her stories. So there's Fatty, okay? The second one is Fulham House. Now, they really got started and really got launched big. What they did at Try on Tuesdays, where they would try something new. They either try a challenge on TikTok or they do something else that's super funny, that's easy to share, and people want to watch and laugh all the time. And then you have Jenna Wood, who comes on her stories every day and she does reels where she finds the best cheap finds of expensive clothes. So she does Walmart a lot. She does Target, and she does that all the time and gets great deals. Now, you'll notice there is something in common with each of these women, and it's that they have something very specific that people come back for and that people want to share. So if you are an influencer and you want to grow and you really want to grow quickly, you need to find what is your magic thing. What is the thing that only you talk about? What is the thing that you show up every day and you share and it's intriguing and people are curious and they want to know more and they want to be a part of it? I know in your first glance, you're like, ooh, I have nothing. And that's just not true. If you want to grow really fast as an influencer, you need to figure out what is your thing. What is the thing that people will talk about? With Style Fit Fatty, it's all sorts of information you didn't even know that you needed to know. And she shares it in her stories and people love it so much. And they are like watching her stories all the time. They watch very religiously. And it's because they feel like they're part of a community. And then with Fulham House, they are there to make you laugh. So you come back and you feel like they're your friends. And that's their magic, right? Is those try-ons. It's a husband and wife team and they are hysterical together. They're very relatable and they make you laugh. That's their thing. And then with Jenna Wood, her specific thing is that she gives you very specific deals. She wants to look high end, but she doesn't want to pay the prices and she shows you where to find the things. So you not just niche down, but be very, very specific on what is your thing? What is something that people come back to you for? Let's talk about product businesses. So if I were strategizing, like, I have a marketing agency. So if you met with me and you're like, hey, I have this really cool idea and I have some money to back it up, this is the actual strategy I would tell you to do because I've seen it work over and over again. Some of the businesses we're going to be talking about are Kizik's, Brownies, and Longe. Longe? Longe. And I have all of their products here with me because I thought, oh, I was influenced. So I want to see it. So Kizik's are shoes that You don't have to tie to put on. You just slip in and you don't untie them, even though they have ties, but the back bounces back up. So you slip in and you never have to use a shoehorn or anything like that. You don't have to bend down and tie your shoe ever. And this is Kizik's. Frownies are little facial patches that you don't do Botox. You get one of these out and you get it wet and you like put it on your face. It's supposed to take away the wrinkles. Influence. They have ads everywhere. So no Botox. You can do facial patches frowning. The other one is Lange. This has been around a little bit longer. And when I tell you the secret to how all three of these companies are doing it, you're going to be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. So Lange is different kind of hair products. And they went really big about 3 or 4 years ago when they just grew a ton. What did each of these companies do and what are they doing that is helping them grow a lot on social media? Each of these businesses focus on what makes them different. And they really go against their competitors in a lot of ways. And they really focus on that. And then they do a lot of ads and they work with a lot of influencers. And I'm actually not sure how many influencers Frownies works with, but Kizik's, Lange, they do a lot. So each of these companies has been putting money into ads so that a lot of people see their content. And a lot of their organic content that they're creating is about the very specific thing that makes them different. The woman from Frownies, she talks a lot about what makes this patch different than Botox. So she has a completely smooth forehead and she's never done Botox. And she says it's because I've used Frownies my whole life. And so when there's haters and they're like, just do Botox or whatever, like she calls them out on Reels and she just says, this actually works and I don't have to get injections or anything like that or be very expensive. And so she really focuses on that. With Kizik's, they focus on what makes them different, right? And what makes them different is you never have to bend down to get your shoes. So I just recently saw one of their commercials and it's with Mallory from Studio C, who's the actress, and she is acting as a mom and she's like walking through Legos and she like just doesn't have to bend down. She can just slip into her shoes and not step on a Lego. Okay, very, very specific to their target audience. It's very dialed in, right? So what they have done is they put money towards ads and then they're creating really great content. And with Lange, they did some specific things, which has helped them grow a ton. And that's that they had user generated content. So they would pay influencers a lot of affiliate income if they would use their products and create content around them. And they don't do this quite as much anymore. They just did it at the very beginning where you could create a lot with creating content from Lange. But an influencer would create the content and then they would put ad money behind it. And then that creator would get affiliate commission. But suddenly what is happening, the cool thing that's happening for them is that all of these people, like all of their audience is seeing multiple influencers and multiple ads of people using their products. And this is, I think, the genius behind these product-based businesses is they're allowing people to have a lot of different touch points with their products with different people. And so they have the ads, they're creating great content, and then they're using influencers to push their content out there, to put their product out there. And this specifically works with product-based businesses because it is like a physical product people can use and touch and spray and put on and whatever. And so if I were starting out with a product-based business, I would do this. It does take some money and it does take gifting things to influencers and doing that. But to grow, this is a really, really great strategy. If you don't have a lot of money with your product-based business, you can get micro influencers to talk about your products if you send them for free or for a small fee. And you can create great content that really focuses on what makes you different. I recommend going to each of these, like go to Frowny, go to Kizik's and look at their content. And you can go to Lange, but theirs has become so mainstream that the strategy might not be as applicable to implement now. But look at those two companies and see the type of content that they're creating and see the genius behind it. They have ads, they're creating great content, really specifically talking about the things that make them different, and they're using influencer marketing. Okay, the last ones are digital products and services. And I'm actually going to combine these because the strategy here is the strategy I would use for both of them. And there's a couple people that we're going to look at. One is Brock Johnson. He is really amazing at Instagram. And two is Sharon Says So. If you don't know Sharon Says So, she is America's government teacher, and she has grown so many followers in the last year and a half and just an amazing person all around. So with digital and services, it's really coming down to you building trust with your audience and becoming the thought leader in your industry. There's space for everyone to be a thought leader and to be an expert. But if you're selling digital products and services, then you need to know that you are here to be the expert in whatever industry you're in. And so how do you do that? And how are these two doing it? And it's really creating really highly specific, niche content and creating a lot of it. And with Sharon Says So, how did she get so famous? How did she grow so fast? She did stories every day and a lot of stories every day, answering questions about current events. And she answered questions over and over again, and she showed up for her people. And that's how she grew so fast. With Brock Johnson, he is creating a ton of content. He's pumping out probably at least 3 pieces of expert content every day, and he's grown a ton very quickly. So if you are a digital or service-based business, this is a good idea for you to do. Now, if you are a location-specific service-based business, you might not need to put out quite as much content, but you need to start collaborating with people who are in your location-specific area, okay? I broke it down like this because you aren't going to hear people who do like blanket statements of how you should grow on Instagram. And it just doesn't work for everyone because blanket statements don't work because they're not specific enough. But I think that no matter what phase you're in your business, if you can think about whether you're selling your influence or your physical product or digital service, you can think about, okay, here are some good examples of people who are growing on Instagram. And like Tony Robbins says, success leaves clues. And so we can go to people like these people and look and see what are they doing and how can we implement that into our business. And we're not going to copy, absolutely not, but we are going to learn and we're going to see what we can implement into our business to help it grow. Now, I am dedicated to helping your business grow. And that's why you're here. Thank you for being here today. If you want to make sure that you are a part of this every week and every episode, make sure that you subscribe below. And I want to know who in your industry is growing really quickly and what do you think they're doing right? I want to know that. Will you put that in the comments? All right, my friend, I am so glad you're here and we'll see you next time.